We know that Port Adelaide do like to spoil a party, and in this reverse fixture last year, Port took the biscuits, but we'll wait and see how we start. A very, very changed side to the one we're used to seeing with Port Adelaide. I think if we look down at from their back-to-back Division 1 winning years, there aren't that many. We are underway. Port, wearing their traditional black and white, will be attacking the left of your screen, and Onkaparinga, wearing black and red, will be attacking the right of your screen. We are underway. First chance with ball in hand. Big front-on tackle early on. Troy Doughty, the evergreen Troy Doughty, I think he's on his 6th retirement at the moment, steps in at halfback. Smith will pull it out the back. A question of forward. Got away with it. Now they're free down that left-hand side. You kind of feel, Adam, in the opening moments of this one, you kind of feel that it's going to be how long Port can make their first up tackles and stay in this one.
Oh, completely. I think the guys are just trying to stick to their structures. Obviously, working to what I was saying before about working to our guns. Oh, ball's gone forward there.
Yeah, it's going to be a case, and I'm just trying to look away to my right at the depth of the Port bench, and I don't think it's overly deep. So it's going to be a real war of attrition from the men for the North.
I think that's the case. If they are down with that numbers and with our second grade having a forfeit, we're going to have a fresh bench today, so that depth could be quite important later in the piece.
That is very, very true. There was no B-grade game today, so fresh benches all round, and it's not something that South Australian clubs are used to.
No, not the luxury of.
No, but Port Adelaide's first scrum, we're going to stand that one up. JP Nell, South African, will feed the ball in for Port Adelaide. Deep inside their own half. It's our first look at the set piece. You would think as well that, you know, set pieces really should be level playing field for both of these sides. Port really need to take the wins out of it where they can. And that's a good start for them. Out the back to Koe. Koe will put it on the left boot. And that's a decent range on that touch finder. So the first line out will be smack bang in front. Not straight. That's where they've got to put the focus in. First scrum for Port looked solid. Halfback for Onkaparinga, like I said, the evergreen Troy Doughty. And just a little bit of background, he also picked up an injury last week and he was touch and go. And apparently, not that I'm going to take any praise for this, it was the opportunity that he might have to co-commentate that made him decide he was fit enough to play.
Look, it might have scared him off. You know, he can be a quiet guy at times.
Penalty.
Except when he's on the field.
Penalty for a high one. Port will be allowed to release the pressure. JP now will take the kick. We saw Koe clear for touch before, and again we were talking before we got on air. The nice thing about not having a B-grade game is we had a long time to discuss what's going on with this one. Koe has to perform today.
Oh, he's a driving force. He's the go-forward man. He's very much a mojo player, and when he gets his tail up, he's a very, very tough guy to stop. So he needs to get ball in hand really quickly to get the confidence of his guys up, and once the confidence is there, who knows what can happen.
Yeah, so this, I think, is Port's first lineup. See how they go today. Bit messy and also not straight.
Two not straight already, which is surprising because it's dead still here. The conditions are absolutely amazing.
And the sun is out, it's which is nice considering this morning was rainy. Find it interesting as well because Laws of Rugby said there's got to be a metre gap between the two lineups, but obviously social distancing says 1.5 metres.
1.5 metres.
So we should see cleaner lineups. They should be further away from each other.
I think if it was 1.5 metres, no one would get the ball, it would be straight down the middle.
I don't think referees would mind too much about that. Solid scrum from Onkaparinga. Certainly the scrums seem better from both of these sides. Doughty will send it out to Evans. Evans out the back to McKinley, steps inside. and beats a tackle. Keary gets a desperation hand to it. Pete Garden, the dozer, tidies things up. Counter ruck comes just to disrupt it a little bit and slow it down. Inside ball to Jackson. Port happy to play it at their own pace. It's been okay. We have seen this from Onkaparinga in the past. They're happy to give up. Little chip through, loud blast, offside. Onkaparinga happy to give up the ruck and hold
I think
in a
that's
defensive position.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with breakdown or current breakdown, that you just got to apply yourself straight away, or not apply at all, especially if they're guys that are protecting the ruck are already in a solid position.
We have seen Onkaparinga at times though, and we talked about the C word, complacency. We have seen them at times get complacent around that. So it's going to be interesting. I think if there's a chance for Port to steal something, it's going to be around the edges of the ruck. Have to be patient, have to be disciplined on both sides of the ball.
Yep, very much so. That's it, being at the breakdown with purpose.
That one's turned over.
Taken in by Coo.
Devine, strong line, back towards the forwards. Little kick over the top again, turns around, Carlender, oh, nearly took it in.
Oh, Riley almost got that.
Riley Matthews over there in the far side. Fortunately, hopefully he'll play near to the camera in the second half. He is sporting an incredible head of hair at the moment.
Oh, he is indeed. A lot of time spent on that by the looks of things.
He nearly brought it in. Exciting wingers again. Riley Matthews, Tom Selwood on the near side this week. Starting to get yourself a little bit of a fan club already.
Kane Golding's always been a fan of mine.
So Port not really getting their line-out firing just yet. Off the head of Jackson and off the fingers of Doughty. So they're going to go with Jackson's first knock-on. I didn't think you could knock on off your head. It's the first Falcon we've seen in 2020 as well on the live streams.
Yeah, nice. Always need a good Falcon.
So Wonkers will have a scrum. Midfield, lots of space to work with.
Yeah, scrums have been pretty even so far, so it'll be interesting to see where this one goes.
Solid again, but Port getting a little bit of movement out the back from Doughty. And again, decide to put the ball to boot. Just try and play a little bit of territory rugby. You have to say, the way that Port's line-out is going so far, really not a bad option.
Yep.
I mean, they've won the last... Well, they've won every line-out so far on Onkaparinga. And again, it's messy. They've managed to come back on their side, though. Out the back again. Koe shows, goes, steps out of a tackle, then takes on Devine. Won the first little battle and Devine wouldn't go away. That's 22 metres gained from Koe.
And there it is. There's that go forward that they can't just rely on him, though. The other guys need to be jumping in.
They seem to be okay. They're not running singles at the moment. Then they will look to make a little bit of space. Another little show and go. Now they're away. 2-on-2 over on that far side. Steps back inside. He's got room. Can't get away from McKinley, though. How's his support? Support gets there. Then the little chip over the top. Matthews will get there and step out of it. Now Matthews has got a little bit of paddock to work with. More than a little bit. Another good front up, chest to chest tackle. Smith, Evans. Evans again will put the ball to boot. How's the bounce going to go? How's the foot race?
Chambers is there, Jason.
That's a great kick. And I think Keary has just about managed to put that down.
It was a great chase by Jason Chambers there.
Little knock on by Chambers. Well, it's all go. And Port showing the potential that they can actually come and poop this party.
Oh, completely. Oh, completely.
They did say, I didn't recognise that outside centre. I haven't seen him before. Or I think it might be the fullback, Jake McLennan. Well, I hadn't seen play for Port before, but watching him warm up, he certainly looked like he could do some stuff.
It was quite an
Showed it
impressive
there,
run.
yeah. So it will be a 5-metre scrum for Port. They've been okay. Coe again will sit back in the pocket. We are live. We are mostly interactive. We're saying we're mostly interactive. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's just see how they go from here. Coe, this time he will clear it. We are live and interactive. You may, one notable absence, you may have noticed the lack of drone shots this week. Our wonderful leader, David Muggleton, has come down under the weather this week, not feeling very well.
I love those drone shots. I'm actually, missing out on that because the view from up there would be spectacular.
Would be good today, but he's not well. But he is talking to us. Thoughts on the quarantine haircuts? Troy looking fresh. Troy has let it go. Looks like he hasn't seen a barber since March.
I like that. That's very much a quarantine haircut. I like that quote.
There's no styling going on, is there? Out they go again. Little show. Then out the back to McKinley. McKinley steps inside again. Good offload. Tripped over his own player? No, tripped over Coe. So he's offside. I'm going to ask you to translate one of them, I think.
Vanessa Te Atarangi Apimaira. Is that Neff on the field? Yep, that is Ku out on the field there.
Oh, there he is. Kawenta Tito Matiaha.
Well, that's a pretty good effort.
Not far off.
Not far off at all. We'll have that nailed by the end of the game.
We will. We get that.
We do just call him Ku around here.
We did have a very long conversation about that beforehand as well. We've got to do people's names justice. So this time they are deciding to go for points. Just trying to see, is it Evans who's going to take over the kicking duty to begin with?
It is indeed.
I mean, it's an absolute embarrassment of riches for Onkaparinga in the kicking department, though. Troy Doughty can knock him over, and then you've got the left-legged howitzer of McKinley, although he's not been used very much over the last couple of years.
No, very much. He's the punt king here. Troy traditionally has been kicking, but Nathan seems to have those duties.
Stabbed through for a 3-point lead on the Wojtek scoreboard. And we'll just see that. There's a little lift of the elbow from Coe. He kind of knew where he was.
He was just stretching his elbow.
But McKinley has shown he's beaten the first tackle on the counter-attack a couple of times. You can't allow him too much room.
No, again, he's very much a mojo guy as well. When he gets involved, he can be quite devastating.
Nasty injury, was it last year? That's a great restart. He will get the 10 and Port. We'll get it back, Cameron.
Yeah, injury was a first or second game of last year around the eye.
Yeah, took him out for a long, long time. Thankfully, it hasn't made him any worse looking than he already was.
Oh, well, we'll hold those comments for now.
Chapman, he will rumble forward. Port showing that they can bite off yardage. Lamble, Cameron Lamble, will take another couple. Nell decided that he didn't have many options, so went and took it himself. Cameron, he'll pick and drive around the outside. Lamble will go. Port patient at the moment, and Onkaparinga allowing them to be patient. Coe now puts the ball on the boot. McKinley has to work his way across. Calls the mark. First chance we get to see the left leg of McKinley had that right leg strapped during the penalty. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for him. Quarter of an hour gone on the Wojtek scoreboard, and your thoughts so far, Adam?
I think from the Onkers boys, it still looks like it's a little bit rushed and just not holding that strength at the breakdown, and probably going a little bit too fast. I think what we just saw from the Port guys there shows that they mean business. Good little structure, set piece, willing to have that rumble, which they've always been known for doing. So I do think fitness is going to be a key. So I think sort of that last 10 minutes and first 10 minutes either side of the half is going to be key.
And again, not quite there, and this time, Tito Matiaha. That's not him, is it? Ku? That wasn't Ku, was it?
Yep, Tito Matiaha.
I might leave that one to you. Again, he's just hanging around at the back, and he's got more line-up wins than anybody else, I think, today.
True, if we were keeping those stats, he'd probably love that too.
The problem is, though, that he couldn't bring it in, and it's... it must have been not straight, so it's an Onkaparinga ball. Somebody asking for round the ground scores as we go. We will be completely led by the Rugby Explorer app. Again, looking for territory. Sat up nicely. Good contact as well. It's important that the ball comes back that way because he was on his own. Little smile to the always vocal Onkaparinga faithful. There is a turnover though. Devine just head down and straight runs through the first two tacklers. Someone thought they might have had hands on. Pass goes astray somewhat. Tidied up in the end by Evans, and then another suspicious little pass, but let go. Port will turn it over and drop it. So and then they get the knock on. So interesting little passage of play. So far around the grounds, Old Coles 21-7 over Elizabeth, 3-0 Onkaparinga. No score as yet. Woodville Souths, Burnside 22-0 up over Barossa at the moment, and then Brighton 7-0 up over Adelaide University. So results going as expected.
As expected.
So Onkaparinga with another scrum. As we approach 20 minutes, just the 3 points on the scoreboard. Port, if they go into half-time within a converted try, I think we'll take that as a win.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I mean, yes, we may be of the opinion that the scores might have been bigger then, but these guys are still out here doing battle.
Evans. Flat ball, good line, great hit, Koei. Again, another misplaced pass, but Witten did very, very well.
On to Selwood there.
Yes, Selwood managing to wriggle his way through. Evans again to Devine.
Jake Mulder, good run off Devine there.
The two youngsters, Witten and Mulder, every time we've come to a broadcast have really played very, very well. Now the hands go out to that far side. Matthews steps back inside, beats a couple. Great feet from Matthews. Trying to get closer. That's the 5 metre line they're approaching now. Doughty. Flat ball to Devine. Steps out the first one. Garden tries to hold him up. Will come back their way though again. Doughty looks to the left. Delays the pass a little bit to Matthews. Matthews gets the offload away. Now they're within 5. Doughty, got to be space. Throws it away. Easiest try that Nathan Evans will score. But at what cost? Doughty was slow to get up. I think that's Isaiah Shoemaker as well that was slow to get up. So how far out do you think Nathan Evans can make that try by the end of the evening? How many people do you think he'll beat? That's got to be the shortest try in broadcast history.
Close to it. I think he'll probably be more concerned about nailing this kick, the way that he trains those kicking shots. So, but yes, I don't think you get any shorter in distance than that one.
So he is looking a little bit proppy. I think it's Schumacher.
No, that looks like Ryan Evans.
Ryan Evans, the second row, just a bit proppy on the way back. Took his time to come back into it. Doubt he took a time getting up, but I think he does that because he knows the camera's on him.
Yeah, completely.
That was fine, because if you did that, you were in trouble. As long as you were walking, if you were just walking up to get there, you're all right. On the body for your own team. I used to have...
Evans sends it on the way and the flags go up. Very interesting kicking style. Hardly any follow through at all. The arm was out for a penalty as well, so they just overrun that Port defence. The winger has to come in and actually did well to gather it, Nathan Evans.
Yeah, all started off by that great run from Riley down the side of the edge, getting the guys momentum, that go forward ball.
So 10-0. Last restart from Nell was right on the money. Is that a change already? Yeah, Garden has come off. Deeper one. Big strong running, but Chapman did enough. Just divine. Again, he beats that first challenge. Talked a lot last week about first up tackles. Evans again will put the ball to boot. Again, it sits up. Great chase. It's done well again, but the counter ruck is coming. You'd think that Onkaparinga will turn that over. No, Port have done just enough. Real backs to the wall stuff from the Pirates. It's just a mess at the moment. But Port have hung on by their fingernails and can now reset. Had a couple of bites at it.
Ku Mataha, yeah, very good one there.
I think he had 3 goes at a counter ruck that time. I think if you give them an opportunity, they'll take it. I'm not sure what the penalty was for. I think he does actually have to be bound onto somebody. He can't just hit the ruck. And now we'll just see them out just outside their 22. And again, that line out for Port. We see him here wearing the number 25. There's shot number 1. Oh no, that was the third one. Oh, side entry was the signal. Again, the line out does not go Port's way. Smith straightens. Another little wayward pass. McKinley trying to find a way through. Snaffled by Chapman illegally. I felt he was okay.
Yeah, I thought he was on there as well.
Replay. And we're going to kick the goal on that one as well. Nathan Evans will line it up. I felt he was unfortunate there. It went out really, really quickly.
Yeah, Snoop did say tackler not releasing. I'd like to see how that was. I thought he was
that
on.
was real quick. Unless he's made the tackle, got to his feet and not released. Which, I think there's going to be some changes around the ruck laws again coming up. I'm looking away to my left-hand side to McKinley, who again has come over to this sideline while Nathan Evans is getting ready to kick. I think he's just having a chat. I think we're okay. There's extra tape gone onto that right leg, which you would suggest is hamstring. Hamstring or quad, you would think.
Yeah, it almost looked like his hamstring when he ran on the other side of the field there. It looked like he had a slight grab at it.
Flags stay down on that one.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yep. Technically correct.
Technically. You need a t-shirt that says that, by the way. Technically correct.
Technically correct.
Yep.
It's such a shame because, you know, from a visual point of view, that's good defending.
Yeah, completely.
But, you know, it is against the laws. Koei again, just fires it at Smith. Smith is going to get it and pop it to Evans. Oh, jeez. A touch of blue flashing light to that one, Liam Smith.
Yeah, I think Haggis will be getting thanked for that later.
Doughty again, flat ball to Ryan Evans, seems to have recovered, and then a loud blast for the offside. He had it, despite the shouts again from the Onkaparinga faithful. First time we get to see the... we saw it before, and again, good distance from McKinley.
Yep, into the 22.
You know you're going to get that anywhere within the attacking half. You know you're going to find yourself in a real good position.
Yep, as a tired forward being on the field and you see that guy do that kick down the field, it just lifts you a little bit. I'm from
an opposite point of view. Well, this will be a first. Little drop off inside. So you just got to make sure, we just got to get it in front of your mouth, Pete. So just...
G'day gentlemen, how are you?
Doing well, thank you, how are you?
We'll come back to you in a second. Doughty sends it in field, Mulder again. Hands on that time, and again, yeah, hands in the rock. So there'll be a little bit of time. We're going to welcome into commentary Pete Gordon. This is this is like proper broadcast stuff.
Yeah,
You've been playing and you're back. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much.
Dozer. I've been doing my best to add a Port perspective to this, but not a bad start, Pete.
Mate, not a bad start. I think much better than what we did last week as well. But to be fair, without being able to bring our reserve grade down with us today,
yep.
We've got a little bit of extension in, a few fellas not having already played a game and things like that as well, right? So we're coming on fresh, but that should give Onkers a good knock, right, and give them a good test as they're going into the rest of the season. Yeah, well, as we said before, as Nathan Evans just lines this kick up, you actually come into this pretty much level pegging. On paper, obviously anybody who's watched South Australian rugby over the last couple of years, you would pin the favourites banner certainly on Onkaparinga, yeah.
But Port have always had this ability to come and spoil a party. And the first half an hour, they've certainly shown that there's potential there, but can you keep it going for 80 minutes? Yeah, I think so. And what I've been impressed with out there so far is that they're taking those opportunities for the penalty kicks. They're not feeling enough on the front foot that they just want to take the quick taps and go for the 5 points, which is testament to the Port guys, and they're putting that in. But as Onkers are measured in their approach, they're going to stack up the points, and then they'll be ready to strike come second half too. So the Port guys have really got to hold that and get some points on the board and get some win behind them too, and see how they go. So Nathan Evans did get that one over. You may hear the noise in the background. That is Onkaparinga's very own Rebecca Shelton, who it's every time we come here.
I think the whole neighbourhood can hear that. They know that when we got a home game, they'll hear that.
So Nell again. Restarts have been good so far. Again, we'll send it deep.
On to Oliver Olsen.
Chase again. Everybody happy to reset, which they do. Devine dealt with first time this time. Arm comes out. Wonder whether that's for no arms. High on that one. So again, and we talked about this, Pete. I think, and I was about to say before you joined, when you give away a penalty against Onkaparinga, from an Onkaparinga point of view, from the front five or the tight five, you're like, okay, we now know where we're going. From a Port point of view, if you give away a penalty and you know that McKinley's going to walk, is there a demoralising, is there a deflating feeling knowing that no matter what work you've done, Keary just about has a couple of bites at it. Then we'll put it to foot. Smith, less of a hospital ball this time to Doughty, and Devine again puts his hand up, looks for work, crosses halfway. Doughty off his backside to Smith. Smith with a flat ball, and a good flat ball, and again Onkaparinga away. Pazynski then
He's still going.
Everybody find his way around the back and touch it down. They asked the question about whether he managed to get it down before his feet went out the back.
Around the outside there
but off they went, and this is what just beat that first up tackle, Adam.
Yeah, completely. I think, a lot of basics right there. Just the draw and pass. Good hard running by Liam Devine just to keep that momentum going, and then Leon there saw the gap and went for it, and a couple of good bump offs right there as well.
Yeah, 2 fens on Jake McLennan.
Oh, at least.
He didn't. First one wasn't enough for him.
Got to find some shorts, man. Hey, I was guilty of it too. Hey, when I did my calf, Caleb Witten, the big old fend on it, I thought, and how are you next time, my boy?
But that's we were talking about that, and those first up tackles have to be there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the ball, it got him beyond the gain line, and then it was a chasing game.
Yeah.
And Pazynski, who I hope I am doing justice to his surname, just galloped away. But McLennan, new this year?
Yes. Yep.
He looks like he's got a bit about him, and he's already shown that given the time and the space, he's going to cause some problems.
Yeah, correct. And in fact, it's the first time I've seen him, with some ball in hand and things like that as well. He's doing well in that fullback position with his comms and things too. So he knows where he's coming from, and he's helping us get our defenses a bit better,
Evans again, I think he's just pulled it so the flags don't go up. Yeah, you see the chase. I think here he comes in now, McLennan, and that's the first one. And then he goes again and gets seconds just for good measure.
Yep.
Good, strong run. Not somebody who I've really seen in an Onkaparinga shirt much of either as well.
He played a lot of second grade last year. He's been given his opportunity, and by the looks of things, is pouncing on it.
Oh, he's taking it, yeah. So now we'll restart again. That is close to perfect again. But they've played it.
Ollie Ralston, pick and go.
Smith.
Slip.
Sniper got him.
Jakey Mulder with the pick and go.
It's been nothing but impressive, Jake Mulder, every time we've been to a broadcast game.
Oh, the guy's got absolute great skill set. The guy can pass both ways, kick both ways. Just that little bit of confidence with him, and he's got the lot.
Out the back, another penalty. Have to say they're starting to mount up, Pete.
Yeah, they sure are.
Doughty puts the ball down, and you know that this is what I'm talking about, inside your own half.
Slow it down, measured approach,
Yeah, and then you know you're going to end up facing a 5-meter lineup. Perfect. So we'll go down to the 5. I'll tell you what, we haven't seen much of this year. In all of the broadcast games we've done, we haven't really seen a driving maul get going from any of the lineouts.
Oh, that's going to be commentator's curse now.
Yeah.
Here it comes, mate.
There we go. There it goes again. It's not straight.
Lineouts, and even from port side as well. Lineouts haven't been great today, and it's not like it's weather or wind or anything like that to put it in, right? It's it's just getting that accuracy in there, maybe a bit of nerves, or I don't know.
It is absolutely perfect. And can I just, and I don't want to put I don't know whether I can put the commentator's curse on next week. Every week we've done this, we've had a horrible morning and it's been raining and awful. And every time we've come and got to the broadcast game, Mother Nature has put her best frock on for us.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely beautiful. So Port, solid scrum again. Now we'll go out the back. Port looking to run out from the back and a couple of missed tackles. He's got a long way sideways, like Martin Afire. That's a blast from the past.
It is indeed.
He's another young man who I haven't seen much
He
of.
is, yeah, he's a new one down
Bennett.
as well. Yeah, Bennett. John, as he's fondly known around the boys. Because no one can pronounce his first name anyway, mate.
Okay.
Port going a short line out again.
Well, and again just misses his target, and again
Not
it goes
that.
forward. At what point, Pete, because obviously you'll probably go to them at half time as well. And it'd be the same for Onkaparinga. The lineouts are not going well. At what point do you just strip it right back and just go to three-man lineup with the, the old halfback coming in? Because nothing has worked for either side today.
But I'm not sure how much more stripped back you can get, right? I mean, it's just got to. We've clearly
Got
some
to
work,
hit your targets.
but clearly some work to do at training time, and just put some repetition and things like that in, right? I'm not sure
sides,
what
Adam.
difference you do.
Yeah, well, it looks like both the throwers, in all honesty, because the lifting's been great.
Yeah.
It's been there. There has been a few handling errors, but the amount of not straight throws has been quite abundant.
You're going to have to explain that comment to Haggis, aren't you, at some point?
Oh, yes.
Just throwing him right under the bus.
Oh, look, I'll be more than happy to have that conversation with
So
Haggis.
I'll come join you.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
That being said, though, and we talked about the short pre-season, we talked about the later season. That's another handling error in midfield from Onkaparinga. I always get in trouble because I feel like people think I'm having a go at Onkaparinga, but there's got to be a level of expectation about this club.
Well,
and there's been a couple where
You brought up a few key points that, I don't know, maybe is that ball slippery out there? Because, I mean, there has been so many that have just gone to ground or behind people, or just, the accuracy and of the finer, simpler points are just not coming through.
and that's been a theme through 2020 so far.
To be fair, if you look at the other set pieces, I found that the scrums today, even out there, have been pretty good both ways.
Yeah.
Teams are winning their own ball on it, so they're solid enough.
Again, Doughty with the circus stuff. And I don't think his winger was expecting it either.
Well, that was a great scrum by Port right there.
Yeah, and look, Port, if they can hang their hat on something, it's been their scrummaging. The interesting thing is, and what they need is they've got a very experienced number 8 in Liam Devine. They've got a very experienced halfback who's going to be able to tidy that up. Normally, you would say if we're getting them walking backwards, we're winning. Onkaparinga have the ability to deal with anything from the back of that. So Port with another scrum.
Might be a last play for the half, maybe.
I don't think there's been much injury time, so Chapman takes on a couple, makes good yardage again. Devine gets hands on. Can't beat the clean out though. Another little pick and go. Port have shown that they can do this well. Nell takes charge. Little inside ball to Coe. Got just about enough of him. Chapman will always put his hand up for the hard yards, Chapman. Nell surveys his options, one of which is Jackson. He is met strong by the other Evans. Nell again to Lamble, inside ball.
Port really taking a lot of time in that breakdown. There's not much quick ball coming out the back of that.
They're being given the time to do it as well, and I think as long as they keep their pods going, they'll be okay. Nice little break through the line and a great offload to Coe. Coe wants a beat. Coe will score. Oh! Matthews came with a head of steam.
Oh, Paczynski, I think.
Do not celebrate too early.
Oh my gosh.
Do not celebrate too early. Coe, Step McKinley. Well, at least it would have gone viral.
Mate, he was looking for the camera way up here on the roof.
Yeah,
before he
completely.
threw it, hey.
Normally they look for the one in the
Oh,
corners.
yeah.
COVID obviously means that everything is stripped back at the moment. But that would have made a compilation of don't celebrate too early.
Oh, no, it would have.
And he gets to go and convert his own try as well, Coe. But that's just reward, you would say, Adam, for the Port first half.
Well, exactly what I said. It's that momentum, and you know, Port get their tails up. There's some big boys. You've seen structure and strength within that forward pack all day. And as we've said, Teddy, if you let that guy go, he's devastating.
Yeah, and it's the first time that we've seen him with open paddock. So he's 18 points to 5 with the kick to come, and the kick is good. So 18 points to 7 will take us to half time. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take a break and we will be back with you for half number 2. So welcome back. In a great rugby union South Australia tradition, the players have decided we're ready to go before the referee. It's one of my favourite things about it. They just line up and get ready to go. Yeah, what a first half.
Yeah, great finish. Look, great commitment from Port there. That last little bit of structure and then spinning it wide. As I say, these guys are confidence players, and you know, hopefully they come out roaring and put this contest on.
Oh, he did. I did mention it that they're giving them the time to do that, and again they win a restart. Anka Paringa back foot quickly. And again, Port can build from here. Lamble. Straight up, but has support. Can he get to ground? Yes, he can. Nell again. Sends it out. Nell. Coe with a little show and go. Beats a couple again, and again finds his way into midfield. Nell again. This time he works just to clean out the ruck, and Chapman will just look for just an opening to reset them again. Now Nell starts directing traffic. Happy to just take it in bite-sized chunks at the moment, Port. Coe again. Coe from 5 metres out. Takes a couple, but they stop him. Just a quicker now from Pete Garden, I think. Reaches out, gets there. Try given. Bookending half time with scores. So Port Adelaide put on their best party pooping suit at the moment.
Well, like I said before, you know, that last 10 minutes of the first and the first 10, and they look like the ones that are capitalising on it. Good
reach out by Rowe. And we are joined again by Pete. Very well done for not celebrating that.
Mate, I'm a man of the people. I'm just a rugby person.
Oh, you're a rugby person now. Obviously employed by Rugby Union South Australia.
No, I enjoy myself too much, mate, to be all around it, you know what I mean? Look, certainly back the boys. I love playing for whoever though, man.
So can you give us an insight into what was said at half time?
Mate, it was to keep it going, really, because off the back of last week, there was a lot of heads down and things like that. I mean, South really took it to us last week, right? And that was, we probably weren't prepared ourselves for that, right? So, but the halftime chat was around working on those pods some more and keeping that height and just maintaining that belief, right? Okay, because it's not always going to go your way, okay? We've had a good start to it. It's not always going to go away here, but we've got to stay in it, right? And we'll stay in the game.
Kick is good.
Good nudge.
So 18 points to 14. Adam, obviously you weren't there, but what would if you were in that halftime huddle, what would you be saying?
I think slow it down a bit. I think that's why there's been some wayward passes, is that willingness to rush it.
Well, we just saw on the screen there our little Kia Picanto. That is a raffle prize, ladies and gentlemen, and contact Rugby Union South Australia. They will tell you how you can get involved in that raffle.
Beautiful vehicle to drive.
I tell you what,
here today.
I had a sit in it and I fit all 1.95 m of me, and I was comfy.
It's a nice little four-door. Very big thanks to Monteam Kia out at Port Adelaide there.
Good
for,
job you're
the
here. I
sponsorship.
messed that up last week.
It's a four-door. Well,
It is, mate. It is.
I can't see you fitting in the back seat then.
No, probably not.
No.
But hey, Chapman again. Tough as nails. I haven't spoken to him actually. He's another one who I don't think has made it through a live stream without an injury. Commentator's curse again.
Webby.
Can't help
You should
myself.
know this by now.
Can't
hey?
help myself. Now again to Koe. Koe with a little show and go. Again, it's taking 3 people to stop him.
Loose ball there.
Yeah, a little bit of a knock on. Now before we went into half time as well, Port were just starting to show a little bit of ascendancy in that scrum, just starting to push Onka Paringa off it. What's going through the heads of these players right now?
End of a half or when you're a little bit fatiguing, the battle at scrums are so important, and sometimes you just get there and hold position as opposed to competing. And I think if Port put that second shunt on a little bit earlier, then there'll be a little bit of trouble. But I'm sure the guys will be focusing on strength and stability right here.
Goes down early, but we'll go with it. Been a change at halfback. Caden O'Neill has come on. McKinley
slippery.
steps himself. Koe then gets hands on, and the arm comes out. I think Port way.
Loose ball at the back there for Port, picked up.
Well done, Liam Devine.
Again, Port are being allowed all the time they wanted a breakdown. Lamble.
Yeah, you're right. There seems to be no counter-rucking whatsoever.
I mean, that is, it's been Port the last couple of years. Big forwards. Koe again will look to clear them. Big long kick.
Good catch
Taken
there over the
AFL style. Beats the first one. Oh, straight into Koe. Manages to get up though.
Yeah, well, that's Matt. He actually does have an AFL background, funnily enough. First year of playing rugby union and thrust into the one. So that's
Wouldn't have been hit like that.
It's transitioning
Playing,
skills. That's good.
Wouldn't have been hit like that playing AFL. I'll give you the hot tip.
yes.
But at what cost? Because Koe is down on all fours. Counter ruck comes from Port. O'Neill manages to get it away. Evans, head down. That's his head where Angels fear to tread. O'Neill again, near side. Just slips through that first tackle.
Oh, loose.
Lost it.
Come back.
Penalty.
So what would be before they decide?
Here we go.
Would you go for corner here, or would you go quick tap? Do you think, or point?
Whoa, that's a good one. You know, there's been a few misses from Evans. That corner is there. I think corner myself personally, try and get that momentum going back with the boys.
Yep, I think that too. You know, when you're in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
I don't think that's happening though. I think we're going points.
Are we?
And as a Northern Hemisphere,
There they are.
as a Northern Hemisphere man, I would be saying that's probably their best option.
I can hear ringing in my ears. My coach from the Brisbane Irish always take
Take
the
'em.
points.
Yes,
Points
I'll be getting looks at.
means
I'll be getting looks
premierships.
at from the lads too when they see this footage.
Well, for mine, and my opinion is that I said it early on, this is going to be a battle of attrition. I did look to the right at the Port Adelaide bench. It is shallow, made a little bit shallower by the fact that the dozer has come and stood next to us.
Mate, if I need to go, I need to go, right?
But what I'm saying is that the longer that Onkers can keep their noses in front, Port have to at some point just drop off a little bit, you would think.
Well, looking on the field now from the starting lineup, there are 1, 2,
It's great. No,
3,
Joe over
4,
the dot.
5 new guys on the
Saw a
field.
lot of
Right,
changes
okay.
for Onka Paringa.
Yep.
So my point is that adrenaline will keep Port in it. The 3 points have been given to Port. They've gone the wrong way. So it is 21 points to 14 at the moment, the way of Onka Paringa. Getting excited in the background is old Brandon.
It's okay, I'll give you that $20 later.
But if they can stay close, that adrenaline will see them through to the end.
Oh, completely.
If
And the same-
Onkers can just
Are they
keep
gonna play it?
pushing out,
Well, the same thing happened in the Port match last year.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
Yeah.
and now we go to the infamous midfield scrum at halfway. I don't think there's a rugby club in the nation that doesn't practice this set piece. And I was about to say, but we've seen a massive zeitgeist change in what you do from this position over the last couple of years. Because when I was a youngster, and granted that was a long, long time ago, you would overload this near side, you'd go 8, 9, 15. Now everybody splits.
They split, yep.
What happened?
Well, we've got better flankers these days. Webbing is what it is, right?
But 8, 9, 15 should still work.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Were you impressed with zeitgeist change?
That was a good usage. I think Haggis was actually going to give me a list of words to try and slip into the commentary. But
okay. As long as they were all PG, I was absolutely fine with that.
Oh, Haggis, they're definitely PG, but you know that they're words that mean something else.
So a scrum, halfway. Caden O'Neill will feed it in. They have got it right there. I'll go into that far side. Hit the line hard, managed to bring him down, but not before he'd made at least 10 metres. And again they go, and it's just head down, hard rugby at the moment. You have to say that's the kind of game that Port will want to play. Another loud blast to the whistle, and he's turning the watch off, which suggests that he wants to talk to somebody.
Damo getting himself in the way there.
So Port just trying to slow the ruck down, because if they find themselves on the back foot and Onkers managed to get beyond the gain line and into the what an ex-coach of mine used to call the Juicy Lucy zone, it's difficult to defend.
Yeah, completely.
And we're nudging again from 38 out.
He certainly got the leg.
I tell you what though, with the number of opportunities that Onkaparinga have had to kick for points today, it's only come from Port Adelaide not having enough discipline and giving away those penalties, right? So that's got to be a focus for our boys, for Port. Coming into training this week, we've got to hold that discipline better so we're not giving away unnecessary points.
Exactly right.
And they've been avoidable ones, offside at a rock, not rolling away quick enough. They're avoidable ones.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
George McDonald wandering past the front of it. He's got a tankard in his hand, which suggests that he had a good game today. Or is that just a life member thing?
No, he did have a good game, but actually just walked past and did a pukana, and for those who don't know, he just had his tongue out at me, representing his roots from back home.
Who's that out at number 16 there for Onkaparinga with the tape and the nice dreadies?
Oh, that's Isaac. He's been at the club since he was a junior.
Yeah, right.
Didn't play last year and
push that one just to the right.
And got that one little bit of taste this year and
found the
decided,
itch.
Yeah,
he's back.
That's exactly right.
Excellent.
So it's good to see him back.
Really Isaac good. Nathan, is the brother or the cousin of Bree Nathan?
Well, that's a good question.
Okay. But he has been around. Did he take a year out and go to Brighton last year?
No, not to Brighton. No,
who was it who went with? There was two. Reece Gerd went and somebody else went.
I think Carney might have gone.
Carney Matthews, that was it.
I've seen Carney around today. He's back up here.
Yeah, no, he's back here. Yeah.
I think he only went for a couple of games and then went, no, not for me.
No.
And he's back.
Didn't like the yellow and black, staying in the red and black.
I think that might have been his summary. I'm not too sure there though. Another change there. Coming onto the field, it looks like
thick and fast. The changes for Onkaparinga.
Young Dominic's back onto the wing.
McKinley again, lots of room to work. Out to Devine. Devine, great feet for a big man. A little bit over the top. Yeah, the seatbelt tackle. Mm-hmm. Didn't go the full backpack. We've only seen one of them.
Haggis.
And then just a little knock on. I think that was somebody getting Haggis back for his hospital pass.
Oh no, he's reaching for a pocket here, Snoopy.
Who was it? Did he get a number? It's such a tough one. And again, we're going to talk about this time and time again, and just fatigue, and that's a tired tackle.
Yep. And it's one of those things though that it's very, very clear, and you know, you watch it even from professional level, and we shouldn't compare ourselves to that because they play some different laws and things too. But we know anything over the shoulder these days is absolutely
you're going to get hit.
So you know, look, that's fair enough. You take the cheese and have a rest for 10.
I tell you what, that's the last thing that Port need, though, and Onkaparinga, Adam, now have to capitalise on this.
I have to, yeah.
Yeah, completely.
It's a good line out.
And the return of the driving maul, ladies and gentlemen. Can they get it going?
It's a great counter.
It is a good counter. Forwards drawing lots as to who has hands on the ball at the back of it.
Yeah, structure's still there.
There's a hand out,
Sideways
I think, there from the
again.
referee.
Whistle goes to mouth. And there we go. That is good defence from the men from Riverside Oval. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a tough one. That chasing tackle.
Yep.
Like you said before, and it's the same thing that got McLennan in trouble.
Yeah.
That chasing tackle, you've got to go shorts, like you say.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say that now because I'm commentating, because I'd never do it.
And look, it's super easy from the sideline, and what you should have done and stuff. But when you're out there, heat of the moment, right? Your number one job is to tackle. Fortunate that it wasn't overly dangerous, and they've been able to get back up, right? But we've got to stamp that sort of stuff out. That's fine.
Oh, well, there we go. Rosemary Nathan tells us that would be the brother of Brie Nathan.
Brilliant.
A little bit down on the pecking order, and Brie playing obviously national competition with the Aon Sevens.
There we go, resetting a scrum here. Looks like Sam Chapman has taken the honours in a hooker in there. While Jack's off. So it was Jack Gould, our hooker, Port Adelaide hooker, that got the yellow card. So to maintain the contested scrums, Chapman has moved into the hooker position.
Wonderful story, Sam Chapman. I have to speak to him as to whether I can tell his story, but real good news story, Sam Chapman. Coe gets distance on it. Our AFL player does well. Gives it to McKinley, breaks a couple. Manages to find his way, and it takes 4 of them to bring him down. But it's been turned over.
Port Adelaide got the advantage, knock on.
Well, we reset that scrum. Someone did ask the question. Half times around the country, because there's not much rugby going on. Old Collegian 61, Elizabeth 7, 21-14 here. 21-5 Souths versus Woodville. 43 points to 7, Burnside all the way up at Barossa. 35 points to 7, Brighton taking on Adelaide University. We did describe this week as the David and Goliath round.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this fellow that writes these draws down at Rugby Union SA, right? And sometimes I don't know what he's up to. But at some point, look, the first 2 rounds have been, some of those either local type derbies or based on last year's results. The teams that were closer together.
It's got to happen. This has to happen.
Yep.
This is what the clubs wanted. They wanted to be able to put themselves up against the big boys, and you can't see my little rabbit ears that I'm doing, but they wanted to put themselves up against the big boys, and Port, in fairness, are not stepping backwards.
And you're right pointing out, around the country, we're really fortunate, and if we can get our 14 rounds in this year, speaking with my counterparts in Vic Rugby, they've just had to shut down their comp. They had a 10-week comp that they were getting into. ACT are on the borderline because they play some of their competition with.
This time we go off the top. Evans, short ball. Pazinski this time. Nice little offload to Devine. O'Neill again finds Evans. Evans floats one across to McKinley. Steps himself, then will hand it off to Witten. Witten manages to get it coming back the right way. O'Neill just can't get it to hand, and again it bounces out. Another Port player down. Can't quite see who it is.
It doesn't look good. They're squirming too.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like, I think if it's Coe again, he's been struggling with his shoulder. I don't think it is Coe.
Yeah, it is.
It is Coe. He's been struggling with his shoulder, I think, from early on. Yeah, I was talking to Troy Doughty before, and it's almost worth putting the letter out to Victoria. We'll put some of them in quarantine, bring them over, then we can spread them around.
Yes, well, I mean, look, there's some of those opportunities and stuff that exist, but I was about to say for ACT, because they play with Southern New South Wales as well in their competition, but they're finding even trying to cross borders into ACT New South Wales, as being an issue. Even different COVID safety plans in different states,
Yep.
and what their expectations and things are too. So really very, very fortunate in South Australia with where we're at, and let's hope we can keep it that way so we can continue having beautiful days like this.
Yeah, I think that is Koei, and
Yeah.
hopefully
I'm
just a
struggling there.
stinger. John Marsh pulling rank over Dave Telford. Absolute stalwart of South Australian rugby, John Marsh. He is the long-haired, red-headed Viking-looking fella. Been around the state, been around Onkaparinga for a long, long time as well.
He has been. Yeah, I went and saw him just before this broadcast, and he gave me a bit of a working over, and yes, my face was grimacing. I tell you
Yeah.
what, he doesn't hold back either.
I tell you, all the trainers say that. I mean, they take such pride in. Here it is.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it's
got that shot on.
hopefully it's just a stinger, because it's the opposite shoulder to the one he came up properly with before, so hopefully just a stinger. I think he's probably one that you would have to carry him off. He's not going to come off, is he?
No.
So he won't come off willingly.
No, not at all.
Big Cook Islander. I remember the first time I met him, he was dressed from head to toe in green. Even his watch was green. Obviously the colour of the Cook Islands, so very, very proud. Very patriotic Cook Islander. Plays both codes, and I think he went a year where he won best and fairest in Division 1 for Rugby Union and best and fairest for Rugby League in a year.
Yes.
Wow, that
Yes.
is
And best on
phenomenal.
ground in both grand finals as well, I think.
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Hey, we'll just tell that story anyway.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
Yep, he'll
We'll
claim
give it
that
to him.
too. Yep.
So while all of that was happening, they've kicked it into touch.
There's still only a converted try in it at the moment.
There's 20 minutes to go on the Voitech scoreboard. Will have added a little bit of red time, and again the line-out does not work. But they get a penalty this time.
We're going quick too.
It's not been a bad
Been
option for them, mate.
Brought back.
They've run out of their own 22 a couple of times. It's not been a terrible option for them.
Well, particularly if your line-out's not working right, let's do something
Well,
different.
yeah.
Right? You don't want to nudge it if you're not going to win your line-out.
Well, and you see the Onka boys don't actually react to that penalty straight arm at all. We all know that as soon as that arm goes back, you retreat to 10, and
Yep.
so there's pretty quick thinking by the Port halfback.
Now they have gone. Jean-Pierre Nel, South African, known as JP. I think if you just said JP, you would know he was South African, wouldn't you? It's one of those South African names, JP.
Joe Rowe stepping in to do the honours at hooker, throw in. Looks like yellow card's about to come back on too. Oh, won't make the line out though. Port Adelaide looking for a pick.
Again, they're happy to take the yardage where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
given to them.
Very,
And
very
look,
comfortable
if
there.
you're making that advantage line, then
Keep doing it. Now they're going to look for a little bit of territory. They'll turn Onkaparinga around. McKinley lines it up and lets it go. Callender is underneath it, has support.
Safe.
Oh, well done.
Then
mate.
just throws it away.
Oh, Dom.
Oh, there's a penalty though. Offside.
You would not have caught Chappell either.
No, and I think that's is that
That is-
22 the AFL boy?
It is indeed. That's Matt. So,
Matt King.
yeah, a few little things to work
Yeah,
on.
just
but
that offside.
Yep, but that was a great tackle for him. I'll
It
give him the
was.
props for that.
Yep. I think you just would have liked to have seen Callender just draw and give inside to McLennan, because I think Onkaparinga may have found themselves in a little bit of trouble. He's there, he knows he's there, he tried the show and go. It's a good tackle. He's done well, and he gets away with a sling. He's
With a
allowed to
sling
do
tick,
that.
yes,
he's
he's
allowed to do that in rugby union. So there is the change. He's going to keep going, throwing the ball in.
Oh, yes, he's going to stay at hook.
Well, they won the last one, didn't they? Again a messy one, and again
Emma
knocked off.
Yates giving me big smiles, wondering why I'm still not out there.
Emma Yates, who made the move to Onkaparinga this year. I mean, that's... I had a chat with her beforehand. She's 5 minutes away from here, and I think she just wants to enjoy her rugby at the moment.
And enjoying it. She is a great asset to the team.
Yeah,
had a
absolutely.
wonderful game today.
Yeah.
Well, we should talk about that in a minute. Let's get this scrum out of the way. The next break and play we get,
So
we'll
we're back
talk
at 8 on
about
8
that.
in the scrum, which is nice.
Held their own while they were a player down as well.
They did, especially down in their own line as well, defending.
Goes down early again. This time the ball wasn't in, so we will have to reset it. One of my favourite law changes, that one, that we can play it even if it goes down, and if everybody's safe, we
It's
just
safe,
go.
yes.
I love it. I love it. Stops the big boys just lying down so we don't have to do anything. And we will reset.
So what do you think from here? It's just outside the 22. Do you think they'll run it and try and settle it and then work their way, or do you
They've
think they'll
played
try
a
and nudge?
lot.
Do you
They've
think?
played a lot of territorial rugby, and it's interesting as well that the back
Here we go.
three
There's the feed.
for Port are a lot deeper than they have been. Again,
Oh, poor
another one
pass.
goes to ground, bounces away, and
Taken
I think
over.
that's carried over.
It is. Oh,
There's Tier in the background who said hello to me on face. Oh, there's a penalty, for
Penalty,
falling on. And there again, coach killers.
yep.
Yeah, well.
Haven't said that much this year.
Coming back to it, I would have said, to answer your question, I would have run it, obviously, because Teddy is probably in a little bit of pain, and as you say, probably been a
Running
little
that-
bit stunned.
Running that shoulder of his.
Yeah, I wouldn't intentionally want to run at that shoulder
Not
of
going to
his.
make it. This time he does give it to McClellan.
Another good tackle by Matt. Well done, Matt.
Yeah, and assisted by Witten.
You can go.
And again, yardage
Lee.
made from the back of the ruck. Now, McLennan decides he wants to do some big boy work. And it's the back's curse, unfortunately. He does manage to get to ground, but had he called the maul? Yes, he had. And it's the back's curse. You might want to get in there and get dirty with the big boys.
So
But there's an art form to it, isn't there?
Damien Lee out there playing at 8. Just back from Malaysia, so he's in the army.
Yep.
He's been over serving there for a number of months. Just finished 2 weeks quarantine back in South Australia yesterday. Got his rego done, and he's
I
back
actually
down for-
believe that the same thing is for our guy Ben Russell here.
Is it?
Almost, they probably know each other.
Probably.
I wouldn't be. I heard the same story that he's been in quarantine.
Yep.
Hence why he's probably one of the fittest guys out there already.
Yeah, that's right. But
It's been a bonus and a curse for some clubs around here. Elizabeth managed to keep hold of their army boys because they haven't gone away.
poor pass again there. But cleaned
Chambers
it up.
with the kick.
And a big shout out to
I was going to say it is carried back in, so it's
Yeah.
going to give Port a line out in a very, very good position. Martin van Eyck is warming up on the sideline. Looks like he's going to come in. A man who probably will get the smallest shirt he possibly can out the kit bag.
Yeah, but the size of the guy, you probably bring it off and it's bloody huge because the guy
Yeah,
is
stretch it out.
absolutely
Haven't
immense.
seen much of his Instagram work recently, actually. If you're going to follow anyone on the gram, go and find Martin van Eyck.
And I think
Always.
just a quick shout out to all our servicemen and women out there as well, and all the work they do for the country. It's much appreciated.
Yeah.
Early lift there.
Not straight. No,
Playing
we're
on
going.
there.
We're away. The driving maul
Look
is
for the
on.
maul.
They've managed to split
There
the
it is.
Onkaparinga. Can they get down? Yes, they can.
Have. It's a ball game here today.
Oh, well. It is a ball game.
And that,
It is.
that really only came from that split in the
Yeah,
in
they
the
managed to
Onkaparinga.
split it. Well,
Yeah.
there was a moment. It didn't look straight. And there was a moment that I thought that we were going to stop it, and they
Here it
managed to split it, and they go right through the middle. And at that point, you're in trouble. And I think that's Joe Rowe who's going to come up with it.
Yes,
It is Joe Rowe. So they are 2 points behind with the kick to come.
And Joe Rowe, 2 tries today, this fellow. He's on his hat trick now.
A front row hat trick. That's a rare, rare beast, isn't it?
He's a dual coder as well. Plays a lot of rugby league too.
I think there's a few Port boys who play both.
Yes, yep.
But this will give us the chance as he lines up. Onkaparinga women got the win over Port Adelaide women today.
did.
Now, that may in itself not seem like a very impressive sentence, but Port women
Yes.
is a big thing.
That's a great
I
thing.
think for the first time in a long time, Port have got a women's side
Yeah,
again.
over 10 years. My understanding on some of the history, the last time Port had women, they joined in with some Burnside as well.
Yep.
And had a combined team. But off the back of the end of last year, there was a few girls that were interested, and we've got 25 registered now down at Port Adelaide for the women.
On the back end of a loss, I think you said 60 points to 12 or thereabouts.
Yeah, thereabouts. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but we've scored tries in each of our 3 matches we've had so far. 2 tries
And
today.
again, it's a big score, but 2 years ago we were talking about the Onkaparinga women
In the exact
who
same
were on
stage.
exactly the same bit, and George McDonald worked really, really hard with them, and now we're talking about them winning 60 points to 12. Just 2 years later, kick is on its way and the flags stay down. So we're going to say 21 points to 19, the way of Onkaparinga. We did say that Port need to stay in touching distance. Onkaparinga now must start to push away.
Yeah, completely. We can see that there's been so much battle up the front that maybe the expansive game will help us, but in saying that, there's been a lot of wayward ball today.
Every time they've tried to go expensive, we've just seen it bobble around.
That is
haven't we?
a massive drop kickoff.
Oh, Callender just fires it forward. We're okay because it's hit him, but Port do come out with it. Unconventionally, but it's there. Now, Coe gets through. Offload to Chapman. Chapman finds a little bit of space.
Great tackle, Matt King.
Goes to
again.
ground, up to halfway though. So the massive drop kick is cleared out. Lie carries over halfway. Now, and out into midfield. There's a change been rung for Port. There's a couple of changes happened.
They've gone for the counter.
Now,
Too late.
just puts it on the boot. O'Neill manages to find Devine.
Calendar.
Does well, Callender. Van Eyck. Out to Ben White. Sparkles as he is known. And I know why now. O'Neill. To Moulton. Coe looks like he might have hands on. Did have hands on.
Just a little bit isolated there. Whitten might be happy with that.
No, and Bennett just giving the universal sign language
Jake
symbol
Mulder,
for calm
sorry.
down. It was Jake Mulder, and he did get a little bit. And I think when Coe gets over the ball, it's going to take something to get him off it. Lamble meets Van Eyck. Now, Chapman. Speaking of isolated, has to work hard now, Chapman. Nell again.
Geez, a lot over the ball for Port Adelaide. They maybe have one extra
Yeah.
that they don't need to be in there.
Yeah,
to get back
considering
out into the
Onkers haven't
attack.
been counter-rucking.
Again, we've talked about it. Big step from Bennett. All for naught, though, really. First time we've seen anything like a counter-ruck from
That is good.
Onkaparinga. There's a little bit of a whistle. They're just stopping it. I don't know whether it's for an injury to Chapman. But I was about to say, and we can see Sammy Chapman sucking in the big ones as he gets there. But that fatigue, and I think we're starting to see it from Port. When you're saying there's too many over there, there is a tendency to rest at a breakdown. Well, I don't need to be here, but if I join it, I don't have to do the next thing. There is a tendency to do that. And we are starting to see Liam Smith with a little
Good
bit of a
counter.
counter ruck there. And it shows that it can mess it up a little bit. Conversation with Mr. Jackson. I think it's probably one of those. I think the young man on the right is the captain.
That's Ben Russell there.
Ben Russell, and then Liam Smith will be talking to Ben Russell in earshot of Mr. Jackson. So the conversation is actually between Snoopy Jackson and Liam Smith, with Ben Russell as the conduit.
I've taken it quickly.
It's gone backwards though.
Gone
Fix it
backwards.
up.
I think Mr. Jackson was checking his watch and may have missed that little passage of play. Lie again. And just a step out the first one. Oh, he's just lost it forward. Spun down. Still the 2 points in it. 8 minutes to go. See Mr. Jackson start and stop that watch a little bit though now. I think he's aware that we might have a marquee finish here.
Yeah, very much so. Discipline and intensity needed from both teams right here. We get stuck in the big ones.
Yeah, so who's prepared to finish? And both just went for the ball there.
Yeah, just got to be a little bit of communication. Joe Rowe, I think, had ideas of wandering under the post for the winning try and his hat-trick.
Cowie stepped into number 8.
Again, the kick for territory has turned them around. McLennan has to get over there. Bouncing ball. Can't get hold of it.
And Chappell will be after it.
Oh, he's done very, very well.
Wow.
And will finish.
Wow.
There are questions being asked, but that doesn't matter. He's touched it down. And at the right time, Onka Paringa put points on the board.
That was a great chase from Dom Chappell.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what they've been trying. And I think the question, no, he's nowhere near it. Or was it the one before that he's saying he's kicked it out of McLennan's hands? I'd have to go back a little bit further to see it.
Not that it matters, the points.
It doesn't matter, the points are there, but we can talk about it.
Well, sure. So I think
Cowie is chasing after Snoop Jackson, I think wanting to ask him the question.
So,
but it's done. I mean, it's there.
So at this point now in the game, 5.5 minutes to go. I think for Port Adelaide, as they're regrouping there, they've either got the opportunity to say, right, lucky one, we've got a rally and away we go, or they put their heads down and pack it in, right? So hopefully it's the former.
It could break them. And Onka Paringa have certainly made hard work of it today. But Nathan Evans with the kick to come. Sends it on the way. Oh, well, one flag went up,
one down.
One down. I think we'll go with, I don't think anybody will know here.
It's actually happened to me once, and it turns out that it was a referee's call when one's up and one's down. Yep.
And I'm not sure, I didn't see anything. That one there. McLennan has hands on it and he just pokes it away. It's an interesting one. One that might be talked on. What's happened to the State of the Union this year?
We've been busy.
I'm sure you have. Got other things going on.
Been busy in isolation, have we?
Certainly one that may be looked at. And the penalty from halfway as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know where that... Oh, look. Oh, no, it's gone out there.
Oh, the
flag is up.
Flag is up. I don't know whether it's out. He's going to a pocket. He's going to a pocket.
Oh, no.
Don't see a number.
Speaking with the AR.
Yeah, I don't think the AR saw anything. He is going to a pocket. I don't know which one it is.
I'm not even sure what the penalty
I
for.
don't know.
No, neither.
Unless it was talk.
It might have been
did
for
see
Terry,
that.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, true.
So now we see it. Got everybody. Long way. So it was kept in as
Chapman.
And again, it's just a tired, lazy one.
Is he going for the ball though? I don't know.
It's a tired, lazy one.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Regardless if you're going for the ball or not, nothing to the head, nothing above the shoulder.
I think you may get away with it because I don't think anybody would have got a shirt number. I mean, we had to look at it. So it's just going to be a penalty, you would think.
And Snoop's telling him, run in, keep it down.
Yeah, but, you're talking about bend, don't break. Feel that Port may have broken. Just at the right time for Onka Paringa, and Evans will send it into the corner. Port have shown that they have the
Here we go.
driving more.
Replay. Calendar, well done to keep it
really
in play.
Well done.
Good law knowledge
but
there.
Then the flag goes up there. I mean, he pulls out of it.
Yeah,
I think it is high. It's a penalty.
Trying to go to put the ball,
and
but
I think if he got a number, he would have gone.
Yes, yeah.
Mucky line out again, but Onka Paringa will get it. Smith looks blindside.
Port Adelaide.
And a penalty, Port Adelaide.
Doesn't look like they've given up yet.
No. 78 minutes on the Wojtek scoreboard. They'll want to get this as far away from their own try line as they possibly can.
JP now going for
and
the nudge.
then try to get something. But even a converted try isn't enough at the moment.
No. But if they can get some more points on the board, they'll finish with the 1 bonus point, which will get them onto the ladder for this year. If they finish within 7, that's maybe where the consolation is for the moment.
Another Mocky line out and out straight,
Well,
and it's just handed the
at least they've
ascendancy
been
back.
consistent lineups.
Yes.
It's
I mean,
probably not the favoured type.
Consistently inconsistent.
Yes,
very
yeah.
much.
I don't know whether either team is at the point where they're, assessing these videos and counting the stats, but that's not going to be good reading.
No,
I
not.
would imagine both of you will be out a little bit later on Tuesday night, just
Yep.
having a look
Well,
at
the
them.
line-out throwers can be anyway. Haggis,
Yeah, that's right.
I'll
Yeah,
see
we'll
you.
leave them out there with the
I'll
posts.
hang out with you on Tuesday evening, mate.
Anka Paringa with the scrum. Off we go again. Evans. Flat ball to McKinley. McKinley. Draw. Give. Can he get around the outside? Yes, he can. And that will be that for Anka Paringa. Talking about getting points on the ladder. It is points on the ladder for them. There will be a 4-try bonus point as well for them.
Absolutely now.
So it took a bit, Adam, but they got there.
I still think, still credit to Port. I think that scoreline's going to kind of flatter Onkers in the end. I think Port Adelaide has really brought it. Well done to Dom there. It's actually really quite boggy over there, and I think because he's so light, he's probably the only guy that can actually run over the top of that and step so confidently.
Yeah, it is that. And look, do you know what? I worried about today from a broadcast point of view, what we were going to see potentially. And I'll be completely frank with you, Pete. The warm-up wasn't great for Port. There's players turning up late. And I thought this could be terrible. But my word, have they put in a shift today?
They absolutely have, and what that needs to translate into is
People
these
are training?
boys turning back up to training. You just can't turn up on a Saturday and expect to make it work. You put the work in at training and let the magic happen on a Saturday. So that'll be coming up for the boys. They'll be thinking on that.
And from an Anka Paringa point of view, we talked about complacency was going to be their biggest enemy today. And let's be honest, everybody who came to Wilfred Table Reserve this morning would have ticked this one off. People would have been thinking about how many tries are we going to score, how big's the points difference going to be. As that one, no flags go up this time, you'd be talking about how big's the points difference going to be. They've stuck with it because, to be honest, when Port come back and then between the two half times and then come to within 2 points, it's very easy at that point to start infighting and let that complacency come. So good performance from Anka Paringa as well.
Yeah, I know that Mick Cahill and the coaching team have had, they've come in with simple goals each week, and I know that one of them is that 80-minute performance.
Yep.
So to see the guys still pushing the way they have in the last 10 minutes is a really good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. This might be last play for the day.
Sparkles sits underneath it. Takes on Lamble. O'Neill. Out to Nathan. Nathan will make some yards after the contact. O'Neill again, all the way back to McKinley. McKinley sets it off. It's a wobbly old kick. McLennan can't quite get it in. He's under pressure again. This time he wins. Horrible, horrible, wobbly punt. Port will go again. And they are still going. Talk about 80-minute rugby, and the first time that we see a counter ruck from Anka Paringa works. White, Mulder, Nathan, out to Evans, just missed everybody. Coming back for a penalty, I think. Not rolling away.
I think Port Adelaide need to keep their heads up here, finish off this game.
Well,
so what would you do from here now that you've got secure of the game?
Either tap it and end it.
Ironically, I would go for another line-out because we need a bit of practice in there by the looks of things.
Leave them out there after the final whistle.
Yeah, completely. Oh, look, it's one of those ones that you always want to keep going towards the end of the match, like regardless of the score. You know, we all love playing till that final whistle.
Absolutely.
$33 points to 19.
Oh, there we go.
Much better one. Good offload.
Was it Van Eyck who's gone into throwing?
No, that was still Haggis throwing that.
Yeah. Evans again into midfield. Recycle again. O'Neill to Nathan. Mulder.
Chapman to his
Counter ruck
feet.
from Chapman. Penalised. Side entry. There's been a quick tap now.
But not 10.
It's all a bit frenetic at the end of it. It's like this is the first 5 minutes, not the last 2.
Bring out
And
the
a little
advantage.
knock on. Got to be close to finished.
Was that inside the 10?
Yeah, they went back 10.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, so they've come back for the advantage.
So scores from around the grounds. For what they're worth, Old Collegians 92, Elizabeth 12. Nathan will try and find a way through. Smith, short ball again. Gonna find a way through. Ben Russell just
Got a little
can't
knock
find a
on.
way through, and this time there is a knock on.
Was.
And as we set for this scrum, we'll go around 33 points to 19 here. Been a fairly good game. Souths up over Woodville at the moment, 33 points to 10. So another close one there, and then the close ones finish. Burnside 74 points to 7 to the good up at the Barossa Valley, and then Brighton 76 points to 7. In a year that percentages might actually come into it, today is going to be a big one. And
So here's an interesting one for you, Dave, to remember in commentary for this year. What we've done from a competition points perspective this year, rather than, so if 2 teams end up on the same competition points on the ladder, the count back now goes to the for and against between those 2 teams.
okay,
Gotcha.
So
because these scores are going to happen.
Correct. So there's no longer the big push or drive for, say, if Burnside put 100 points on a team, then Onkaparinga want to put 110 on.
Yeah, understand. Right. Chapman comes off the back. He's still going to go. And Port, even in red time, continue.
Yep.
Imagine how good they'd be if they trained.
See you on Tuesday, Webby.
Oh, no, I'm definitely retired, young man. Koei again.
He's put in some work today.
He has put in some work. Nell has been impressive. I tell you what, if you had to choose a best on ground, it's tough because nobody really on either side has put a foot wrong. Oh, Nell drops it. Went backwards though, so he just puts it up in the air. Ball bounces. That's a good take. There's your AFL cross skills again.
There's Matt coming
That's
through.
King. Yeah, in the side. We are still going. The Shadows have gone all the way across Wilfred Taylor Reserve, but we're still at. God, we're enjoying it though, Pete. We don't want to go. Keep going, Snoopy.
I would have been amazed if Caden O'Neill got to that ball, in all honesty.
Next try, the winner.
That's a good nudge too.
Yeah. Look at that pack mark in rugby union. Who thought you would have seen it? That's young Mr. Matt King again.
Brought it down in the lineup. Oh, and again.
And there we go. That is full time. Onkaparinga get the job done. Port Adelaide a lot to take out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I've been Dave Webb, joined today by Adam Takiri and the dozer, Pete Garden, from a chilly but beautiful Wilfred Taylor Reserve. Good night.